Hey everyone, Brian with Workshop Addict, and Ridgid has some new 18-volt subcompact tools coming out. We have the drill and impact driver here. We're going to put them through their paces, show you what's happening, and give you more info. Stay tuned. Ridgid's new subcompact 18-volt tools are brushless, but are not labeled as octane. The drill and impact driver that we have here came in a kit that's model number R9780. These two tools are going to retail for $199 with two 2.0 amp hour batteries and this charger, which is also a little different, kind of more compact, set up so that you can mount it on the wall and charge stuff. I don't know that I would want to get away from my larger chargers, but this seems to be the way that TTI is going with multiple different chargers. That is going to be slightly slower than some of the larger chargers you'll see, but these are smaller batteries. So when we look at these tools, we still see and feel the same lower section of the standard Ridgid feel. Everything is here. If you were to put two tools in my hand, the only difference that I feel between this large Ridgid drill and this small Ridgid drill is realistically weight. So if you're in the Ridgid line and you're sick of hauling around this very large drill, this small one is going to be a good option for you. The specs on it aren't too bad. It's 2-speed, 0 to 450 RPMs on speed 1, and speed 2 is 0 to 750 RPMs. 400 inch-pounds of torque. It does have a 1/2-inch chuck on it, plastic on the outside with good grip. Everything else is metal on the inside. Now on Ridgid's material they sent with us, they were talking about all metal gears inside of here and a large weight reduction. You can definitely see that. It does put the LED light down at the bottom. I guess, you know, for the jobs that you're going to use these for, the LED light isn't as big of a deal. I really do dig the LED lights that they put on this larger drill. I get it, they can be smashed and all that stuff, covered in dirt, but either way, this is a very similar feel, like we always call the DeWalt feel, as what you're going to get in the Ridgid subcompact line. Same thing with this small impact driver. Now the bottom feels big, but when you really look at the top section of this impact driver is tiny. You have 0 to 2,900 RPM, no load, 1,800 inch-pounds in this little tiny head that's here, 4,200 impacts per minute. So it's up there in the subcompact world. This is definitely nice. One of the things I really like about Ridgid is their 1/4-inch collet. It's spring-loaded, so it's easy in, easy out. You don't have to touch the bit. I bought the Milwaukee out, not subcompact obviously, but just to give you an idea on the size. And they're similar height, but the head on the Ridgid is definitely smaller. You could get it into different places. What excites me is what's coming out with this, because they're going to have a 3/8 inch impact wrench. That's probably going to be the same thing, just it has a little bit different specs for IPM. I'll put all that in the description, but that'll be nice because it's really small, although you still have to have the large battery. But when you look at these two, there is a significant size difference in the top of the tool, not much in the bottom of the tool. If you are in the Ridgid line, there is a very substantial size difference between Ridgid's large drill. Now this is one of the most powerful drills out on the market. It is heavy, and you know, if you're in that line and you wanted a smaller drill, this subcompact series is definitely going to get you there. What we need to do is step outside and start running some of these drills through their paces and show you what they'll do. So to test the drill, I brought out multiple different spade bits. Figured it would be interesting to see what we can get out of high, what we can get out of low, and just kind of go through in general what it will do. So we have it on the drill mode. We do have 24 clutch settings. We'll try that out in a little bit. We are on high here. We have a full battery. Get her in forward. Let's see what happens. That's a 5/8 inch bit. Let's try 3/4, but I don't think that that's gonna be going on high. Remember, this is only 400 inch-pounds. Try her again. If you feather it and almost pull up, it will continue to make it down. If we drop or move up to 7/8 inch here, there's really no sense in trying on high. I know it's not going to go. Let's go down to low. No kickback on that one. This wood has been very interesting, to say the least. Let's hang on to it a little better. Took the 7/8 down on low. We're jumping up to 1 1/4 inches. It's pretty impressive. And again, this is womanized lumber. We had some really hard spots in this when we were going through our testing of the recip saws. Here's 1.5 inches. Definitely not something I want to do without an auxiliary handle. Quickly, let's switch over here and try out the clutch. We're just going to use a metal self-tapper just because that's what I screwed up and put on. So it's the same type of geared clutch system, no electric clutch. Worked well. The battery charger, or at least the battery fuel gauge on this, looks a little different. In that, it wasn't too bad. We went through 1 bar. I like the size of this. For doing some of this bigger work, we are way too small of a drill. There's nothing to hang on to, and as you can see, kind of had my wrist going a little bit there. If we move over to the impact, let's try some. Now this dude said it was rated for 4-inch screws. We're going big here right off the bat. I don't necessarily know that this size of tool is really going to be what you're going to use to do some of this stuff, but at the same point, it's going to show you the power. So let's get to it. That's not bad. You know, we have a variable speed trigger in just one setting here, but I mean, that's pounding them right in. See if we can get this baby warm. This should be where that hardwood is. Took it like a champ, love this. Move up to a little bit larger lag. You can definitely tell we're putting it through the paces there. Let's try this guy on some metal. Stay. The collet on this thing is something that I really dig. It's nice. It's nice to be able to slide something in and slide something right back out. Very controllable. You know, where you're screwing everything in is not too far away. So being that it's so small, it's where your hand's at, similar to if you're shooting a gun. You get the barrel up too high, you get a lot of flip. This has your collet really low, and it's a nice, straight, easy path to push these in. And you could just rock these through if you really wanted to. That's cool. Let's go back inside and talk about it. So I get it. You got some really large tools with Ridgid. You got some really small ones. You can get into tighter places. I love it. I know there's a large group of you guys out there that want to stay in one battery line, or maybe in the Ridgid battery line, and want something smaller. I'm going to take a little different stance. To me, I really like what they have going here. It's small, it works, everything's good, it feels good. I would really like to make this bottom area smaller, and maybe you don't need that. For me, one of the first things that I would do is that. As soon as I remove these belt clips, to me, it feels a lot smaller. It doesn't catch on things, but I get it. If you use belt clips, this is probably one of the first tools that I would actually throw on my belt because it's so small. 99% of the time, I just take them off. Either way, what I can see looking into the future is maybe a little more feature-rich impact driver where you have 2 speeds, where you have a few different options in here. That I think would be nice, especially for someone who's using this on cabinetry or installation things where you want to have 2 speeds and you're not always relying on that variable speed trigger to give you that full power blip. But it works great. Everything in here is good. We tested it on large stuff. You know, you guys always want to see power. So, you know, throwing up some really tiny screws, I can see it. There is definitely going to be control here. The one thing that I find with this tool in my hands, and it's really only the impact driver, not the drill, not the bigger drill, and it's some of other Ridgid's impact drivers, is when I have the tool in reverse and I'm taking something out, once in a while my grip will come up and I will hit the tool into its locked mode or forward mode with my trigger finger. It's probably my hands, my style. It's something they could probably just, they really can't lower this grip and back. It's just my hand creeping up on the impact. I like it. I'm really amazed at what this drill will do in low. And that almost scares me. As you could see, you know, I'm not going to edit out me almost tearing my wrist off there, getting into a bad place in the wood. Should have an accessory handle for some of the stuff we're doing, but you know, this is a subcompact drill. It's really not meant for doing all that big stuff, but it will if you need it to. Just be careful. And I like that part. Somebody could pick these up as their everyday tools for home. They're not overly expensive and they could rock them out and just enjoy it. No one really needs something like this unless you're seriously into, hammer drills, working in concrete, or you just need and want the heaviest and most powerful drill out there. As always, guys, we appreciate your time. Give us a like in this video, subscribe to the channel. We're gonna have more of the other tools that are coming on this, and I'll have more information on those other tools in the description. Again, we appreciate everything. Have a great day.